Alright, what is up guys? Welcome to episode 1 of my Scratch Geometry Dash tutorial series. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and delete the Scratch Cat sprite. And then once you do this, go over to the tab that says Paint and then create a new sprite. Name this sprite Player. Next up, we're going to do some simple art for our player. Go to the rectangle tool and pick out a nice yellow color. And we're not going to want an outline for this, so go ahead and tick that to transparent. We're just going to zoom in a little bit and hold down the shift key and then draw a square. Make it just a little bit smaller, and then after you do that, go ahead and center it up. And then once you center it up, we're going to pick a nice light blue color for the player's eyes and mouth. Just give it a little face here. And once you do that, go to the Code tab. And then once you're in the Code tab, go ahead and we're just going to move that around. And actually, we're going to need to create a new sprite now. Go ahead and hit Paint again, and we're going to call this next sprite Level. Go ahead and do that. We're going to pick a nice dark blue color for our level here. Make it just like that. And then we're going to want our level to be centered up on the stage. And we're going to go ahead and say, when green flag clicked, go to X0, Y0. And then after we do this, we're going to go back into the player's code tab. We're going to drag out a when green flag clicked block. And then we're going to say, go to X, negative 153, Y, negative 70. This is going to be our starting position for our player on the screen. And then after you do this, go to, say, point in direction 90, and then we're going to create a new variable. Call the new variable gravity. Hit OK, make a new variable, and then call the variable flip-flop. This is going to allow the player to rotate in midair like it does in the real game. We're going to set gravity to 0, and then we're going to set flip-flop to 1. Once you do this, go ahead and slap a show block on the bottom there, and then we're going to say broadcast message ready. We're going to use this message in later tutorials. Alright, then once you do that, go ahead and put a forever loop on the bottom of that there. And then say, turn 12 degrees. Underneath this, we're going to say, change gravity by 3. So we're going to change gravity variable by 3. Underneath this, we're going to say, change y by gravity times negative 1. Go ahead and pull a multiplication operator out of the side there. Once you do this, go back to the Control tab and drag out an if-then statement. Inside that, say if touching level, and then we're going to put our collision script in here, but first we need to make a new block. Go ahead and navigate to the tab that says My Blocks. Hit Make a Block. We're going to call this block Collision, and make sure you hit Run Without Screen Refresh. Hit OK. We're going to drag it off to the side there. Make it a little bigger so you can see it here. And then once you do this, go ahead and navigate back to the Control tab, drag an if-then-else statement. On the top there, say if flip-flop equals to 1, then we're going to say point in direction negative 90. In the bottom part of there, say point in direction 90. Go back to your Control tab, and then we're going to drag a repeat until block out. We're going to say repeat until not touching the level. And then once you do this, drag a change y by 1 block into there. Now we have our completed collision script. Go back to the My Blocks tab and drag the little block out into the if-then statement. Once you do this, drag an if-then statement down. Then go back to your Operators tab, drag an or operator out, and then say if key space pressed or mouse down. This is going to allow our mobile users to be able to play along as well. Once you do this, we're going to say set flip-flop to flip-flop times -1. This is going to make it go back and forth to -1 and 1, -1 and 1 every time you hit the space key or tap on the screen. Underneath that, say set gravity to -25. And now I think we're ready to test this out. Just going to go ahead and make it full screen here. Hide those variables. We're ready to rock. Alright, and look at that. We're looking very good. It looks like the real Geometry Dash game. Very nice. Go back into the code tab. And now we have a little problem here. When we keep refreshing, the character spawns on its head. Let's try to fix that. We can try to point it in the direction -90. That didn't work. And now we're just going to try making it higher. I don't think that's going to work either, though. Give it a shot. -40. Alright, that didn't work. Okay, I think I know what we need to do. Say set flip-flop to -1 at the start. And that fixed our issue. So now this is what the finalized code should look like for your player. We're going to go ahead and finish that up there. And then once you do this, we're going to navigate to the level sprite. Go to the code tab. We're going to make a new variable and we're going to call it level. Hit OK. And then underneath our when green flag clicks block, we're going to say set level to 1. Just like that. And then underneath that, we're going to add a show block. And then we're going to say switch costume to, and we're going to rename this 1. I put backdrop there, we need to put costume. We're going to drag that out of there. Say switch costume to 1. Just like that. And then go back to the variable tab and we're going to say change level by 1 underneath that. And then drag out a create clone of myself block. And then once you do this, drag out a forever loop underneath that. And then you're going to say a repeat until block inside of that. Say repeat until x position is less than -500. Just like that. Then you're going to say change x by -5.5. This is going to allow our level to scroll along the screen. Underneath all that, you're going to say set x to 500. And then you're going to say change level by 1. And then switch costume to level. That's why I renamed it as just a simple letter, not letter, a simple number, so we can change it to whatever the variable says. And then now we're going to drag out a when I start as a clone block next to this. A costume block, we're going to say, and now we're going to need to duplicate this, just make another one, duplicate it, which is going to be 2, we're going to switch costume to 2 when I start as a clone, and then we're going to show, and then you're just going to go to x 500, y 0. Just like that, and then drag a forever loop underneath that. Just make it a little bit bigger so you can see. And then a repeat until block. And then we're going to say repeat until x position is less than -500, just like we did in the other script. Now we're going to be controlling our clone. We're going to say the same thing, change x by -5.5. It's going to be our speed at which the level is moving. And underneath that, we're going to say set x to 500, back to the starting position. Now we're going to say change level by 1 again. And then we're just going to switch our costume to the level. Okay, and then our level sprite, our level code is almost wrapped up. Then go back to the costume editor. We're just going to make a lot more clones of this. So we're just going to add a little bit of level features here. We're going to duplicate this 10 times, and we're going to have 10 level costumes. Just keep on duplicating that. And then once you do that, we're just going to mess around with some level design. Just do whatever you want here. I'm just going to make some cool little basic levels. You can do whatever you want. Just let your imagination run wild and just make whatever you want to make here. And then we're just going to move that around a little bit. Let me just put it there. And here. And if you made it this far in the video, please subscribe if this helps you out, and so you don't miss out on all the cool Scratch content that I put out. And yeah, share this video with a friend or a family member who uses Scratch, and maybe they can try this game themselves. And then go back to here, and we're just going to keep editing this level here. And then just like that, we're almost done. Just going to slide these around a little bit. Just like that. On to the last one here. Just like that. Alright, and it looks pretty good. We can go ahead and test this out. Okay, we see our level scrolls here. Okay, we have a bug. We know how to fix this though. So the level just drops off here. I don't think this is an issue with here. With the clones. Okay, I know what it is. So, okay, we can try to do this though. Don't mess around with anything in your project yet. I'm just gonna try to fix this really fast. And then we can see if that worked. Okay, that didn't. Oh, I know what we need to do. So instead of creating clones, what we need to do is we need to go to your costume for that level, and you're just gonna draw a big transparent rectangle over the entire costume. That sounds hard, but it's really not. That's all you need to do, because Scratch has a limitation where your sprites can't move off the level, so you have to use little workarounds. You can either use the transparent rectangle workaround, or you can have it switch a costume to be like the big cube or whatever. But this is what we're gonna do. Go to your costume editor, and then click the rectangle tool and make both the fill and the outline transparent, and just draw a big transparent box over the entire level, just like is shown on the screen. Okay, we're gonna repeat this process for all 10 of our costumes here. Just like that. Okay, and now we should be able to see. Boom, perfect. Our level is scrolling nicely, and it's working exactly like we want it to. Okay, but now we have one more thing to work with. If we run into the side of our, if the side of our character runs into a level like that, we're just gonna rise up, and we're not gonna die like you do in actual Geometry Dash. So we have a simple workaround for this. We're gonna go ahead and make something that's called a hitbox, and this is gonna be basically a part of the character you can't see. So go ahead and go to the player costume and draw these little purple rectangles on the side of the player here. Go ahead and make them like this. Perfect. And then go ahead and copy them. Hit delete. And then go ahead and paint a new sprite. Go ahead and paste that into there. And then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and go back to the code tab. And then inside this code tab here, you're going to go ahead and go to the event tab and then say when green flag clicked. And then after you do this, we're going to have our sprite show. And then we're going to set the ghost effect to 99.9. This is going to make it so you can't see it, but the game will still be able to recognize collision between that and the other sprites. You're going to wait half a second, and then go ahead and drag a forever loop on the bottom there, and then drag an if-then statement. And then you're going to say, if we're touching the level, then we are going to broadcast the message game over and wait. And then underneath this, we're going to say, we're going to hide this sprite here, and then we're going to stop all. Okay, and just like that. But the hitbox isn't going to do anything right now, so we need to whip up a little script to have it always stick with the player. So you go to the backdrop sprite, drag a when green flag clicked, a forever loop, and then we're going to broadcast a message called tick. This is going to constantly be firing a new message off, and then inside this sprite 1 here, you're going to say when I receive tick, go to X position. We're going to go to the X position of our player sprite and the Y position of the player sprite. So we're going to be constantly updating those two little boxes to be where the player is. Have the script just like it's shown on the screen here. We're going to full screen it and test it out. Okay, and just like that, it's working nicely. And then, but we still have our issue here. So I think I know what we need to do. We need to have our little boxes extend a little more out. just so they extend past the boundary of the sprite just enough where they can still make contact with the level. Alright, and we're almost done here, bear with me. So go ahead and go back to the sprite 1 here, and then that's not going to do it. So go ahead and go to the costume tab for our hitbox here. And then we're just going to make sure, we're going to zoom in a little bit, and then just click on it and make sure they extend out a little bit more. Use the arrow keys to do this. And then we're going to run our game and see how this works. Okay, perfect. It works nicely. Where now if we hit the side of our player against the wall, it's going to end the game. And yeah, that's going to do it for episode 1 of our Geometry Dash tutorial. And if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and then I'll see you next time in part 2. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll drop the part 2. So just let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.